What is going on, guys? Today, I got a little bored and I was thinking of something. So there are two interesting matchups that got made. It was really exciting going on the, the Madison Square Garden card. Mauricio Rufy versus Charlie Campbell and Carlos Pro versus Randy Brown. Now, in all honesty, I predicted those two matchups. You may not have heard me say it because I haven't uploaded in like months, but ever since Prates Leech, ever since Prates beat the Leech, all I've been saying Prates versus Randy Brown. They're both on 3-fight win streaks. They both have beaten pretty good opponents in their last fight. Both have wins over opponents who are practically like the same level of like ranking outside of the rankings. I mean, Brown beat Zaleski dos Santos and Prates beat fucking Leech. Why did I keep forgetting his name? I love the Leech. Both like similar levels of fighter. But in that, it got me thinking. The fighting nerds. There's a lot of good fighters. I mean, look, this is the lineup of the big ones that are in the UFC. So I decided I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna rank them all. F tier in this one because I don't think any of them are worthy of the F tier. I think they're all pretty. Some of them are lacking. None of them are piss poor fighters that like shouldn't have made it here. They're all somewhat worthy. Okay, they all have. Some of them just need like to make the right improvements. But let's start off. Kyle Baralho. He's an S tier fighter. Kyle Baralho is an S tier fighter. For a while, I was more on the fence about him because I knew he had like pretty decent striking, but like I never seen it against a really good striker. I mean, against Mikhail Olakjachik, who's pretty good. He, beat him with by submitting him. I mean, his only knockout was against Paul Craig, and I think it was Aaron Jeffrey, and those were and Aaron Jeffrey on the Contender Series not that great, and Paul Craig really not that great, but still a great knockout. But like a lot of his fights was just him utilizing grappling. And the only other time I'd seen him strike was Paul Craig and then the Abu Magomedov fight, which was a really kind of like slow, really. But then he fought Jared Cannonier. And in that Cannonier fight, he showed a much higher level than he had ever shown. I mean, he went from he went from taking down guys like Macau and Abu and using grappling against them to beating Jared Cannonier completely on the feet. It wasn't like the fight against Jared's fight against Imavov where he just got caught eventually and it was unfortunate stoppage. No. Boralho was soundly beating him. The rounds he was winning pretty clearly. I mean, just the jump. I mean, if you saw his striking, Paul Craig, I mean, the way he was swinging sometimes and just winging for the fence and throwing his shots, like I was like, oh, why is he throwing like that? I know he's more defensively sound than this. Why is he throwing like this? Is he actually just? But then against Jared Cannonier, the level that he showed, his ability to mix it up. He was landing clean shots, great kicks to the body, the legs, the head. I mean, and in that fight, he showed his cardio is legit. Sorry for this fucking stupid ad right here. Jesus fucking Christ, this is so cringe. In that fight, he showed he's legit. He showed rounds at a high pace with Cannonier. And in that third round, He rocked Cannonier bad. I mean, dude, he basically finished him. Is my mic fucking cutting out? Why is it doing that? In that third round, he basically finished him. That is the closest non-finish finish I've seen. That is the closest non-finish to a finish that I've seen. 10-8'd him that round. I mean, man, he showed a completely different level that fight. He showed real skills. I think this guy put him against Imavov in a 5-rounder. I think he beats Imavov, and then I think I think if he can get past Imavov soundly, I think there's a real shot for him beating Jared Cannonier. I mean, not Jared. There's a real shot of him beating Dricus. I'm just saying. I think there's a real shot of him beating Dricus. But now, next up, Bruna, Brazil. I'm gonna put her in the C tier. She's been lackluster some fights. I mean, she got knocked out by Denise Gomez, but I'm not gonna hold that against her because it's fucking Denise Gomez. We've seen what Denise Gomez does. I mean, that's not a woman. That's a woman. But she's had some kind of lackluster performances, like against Loma Lukbanmi. I think it's Loma Lukbanmi. She's from Thailand, so like her name's like really hard to pronounce. But she got pretty much outclassed. She got beat on the feet by her soundly. Got out Muay Thai'd. It is what it is. But her Molly McCann fight was really impressive. She hurt Molly McCann to the body really badly. Was able to beat up Molly McCann for 3 rounds. Like, that's impressive. I mean, usually people who are beating Molly McCann are taking her down and subbing her. I mean, she beat Molly McCann by beating her on the feet. And you know what? That's really impressive. And honestly, I don't think Bruna Brazil gets recognized as much as she should. I think she's better than people give her credit for. So I'm gonna put her in the C tier just because she's had some lackluster performances, but she's not terrible. I think that if she shows good improvements in her next couple fights, I might put her maybe in the B or A, depending on how big the improvements are. Next up, Thiago Moises. I'm kind of in between B and C tier, but just because Moises was ranked at some point, and he does have like some pretty fucking decent wins, I'm gonna put him in the B tier. Now, his last couple of losses have been kind of like disappointing. And I'm not even gonna say no, I don't even think they've been his last losses were ooh, never mind. Because his last losses have been Benoit, Saint Denis, and we've seen what's happened to him as of recent. I mean, we saw what Moicano was able to do. And his other loss recently was against Ludovic Klein. And those wins are like not aging the best. And I'm simply saying that because Benoit now has just been getting. Benoit, a guy who was just massive, super strong, pretty decent cardio. He was just able to shuck off the takedowns for the most part from Moises, and then Moicano goes in there, and then Moicano takes him down and beats his ass for the entire first round, staying in mount and back control the literal entire fucking time. While and in the Ludovic Klein fight, we saw Roosevelt Roberts had a more competitive fight than Moises did. I mean, Moises got dropped twice with a body shot and a clean right hand to the head, and then Ludovic Klein looked. Maybe that's just because he was preparing for a different guy, but like I don't know, dude. It's like how is Roosevelt Roberts looking better against Ludovic Klein than you? You were ranked, but I mean, I think he's starting to go with the fighting nerds more now. So I'd like to hopefully see some bigger improvements from him. I mean, he's still only like 29. I mean, he's been in the UFC for a while, and he's still only 29. I think he can make those improvements. I mean, the guy went 4 rounds with Islam. He was able to take down Islam Makhachev at one point. So you got to admit that this guy's grappling is. I mean, he was able to get Benoit down at least once. But then against Ludovic Klein, maybe that's only because it was a 3-round fight, but man, he was in deep on some of those attempts, and Klein just like shucked them off. I don't know, but Moises is definitely like he's definitely he's definitely good. I mean, in that fight against I think his name was Mitch Ramirez. I mean, he started chopping low kicks, and you got a TKO leg kick. You got a leg kick TKO. Oh my fucking god, I couldn't say that to save my life. But he has a leg kick TKO, and not a lot of guys have that. So I think he's definitely shown like real improvements, and I still think he has the chance to improve and maybe even get back in the rankings. But for right now, he's kind of just like a B tier fighter. He's one of those fighters where he'll kind of like a Drew Dober type situation or a Bobby Green. He's like a Drew Dober or a Bobby Green. He got a robbery over Bobby Green actually. I don't think he won that fight, but I mean, to make it competitive against Bobby Green, that's impressive in and of itself. But yeah, not he's pretty good though. I still say Moises is a pretty good fighter, and if you beat Moises, then you're pretty good yourself. Next up, Kanon Krusewski. I gotta put this guy down here, man. I gotta put this guy down here. I mean, here's the thing. Dude, he made it so competitive. He lost to Kurt Holloway. He lost to Kurt Holloway. And I don't even think he lost because he's bad. He's lost because he's fucking stupid. This guy has skills. He has skills. He has he has pretty decent striking. He has pretty good grappling. But he's so dumb. He has a length, he's lanky, height, 6 foot. I mean, but dude, why the fuck are you not shooting on Kurt Holloway whenever that's your way to win? You're standing and trading with him. You're getting hurt in the exchanges every time. But every time you shoot for a takedown, you're able to get him down. Shoot for takedowns. Beat him up. Sub him. I don't get it. I don't get it. He's not terrible because he's shown. I mean, he has a good record. He's like 15-3. He came in at 15-1. His only other loss was to Elvis Brenner, which was on short notice, and he just got hit with a perfect shot behind the ear that just put him out cold. So I'm not gonna hold that against him. But that Kurt Holloway performance was just atrocious. Because why are you've shown you're able to get the takedowns, and whenever you trade with him on the feet, no matter how hard you hit him, he swings back harder, and he cracks you harder. So why are you standing and trading with him? I don't understand it. This guy's fucking silly Billy. He's a silly Billy. He is a silly Billy. But it's whatever. It is what it is. Not gonna hold it against him. No, I am gonna hold it against him. That's why I'm putting him in the D tier. But I don't think it's over for him. I think he can make some improvements, and I think, you know what? This guy can come back. I think he can come back. Hopefully in his next fight, whenever that may be, he shows some real improvements. Next up, oh boy. What can I say? I'm a Carlos Prates Glazer. Now here's the thing, I don't think he's beaten enough high level. I think if he can sleep Randy Brown in the first round, then I'll put him in the S tier. But for right now, he's good in the A tier. And the reason I put him there is just because it's like, man, God, he's shown such a. I think I would be able to put him in the S tier, honestly, if it wasn't for how he looked against Trevin Giles. I know he got the knockout. I know it was a crazy knockout. He's shown really good power, and I know he's improved, but He was getting whooped by Trevin Giles. He was getting whooped. He was getting his leg chewed up. He was getting he was getting boxed up. He was getting boxed. Fucking boxed. I was boxing the bleeding hell out of him. That must be Trevin Giles right now, coping about the loss. I don't think Trevin Giles is a coper. Trevin Giles is a you got me fair and square kind of guy. I know he's made improvements, but it's like I don't know if anyone's really brought it to him like Giles did. Because here's the thing about the Leech win. The Leech win is a good win because the Leech is a good fighter, and people are gonna argue that oh Leech's chin wasn't the same because he got neck surgery, and I'm like, here's the thing. I understand why like someone might think that, but that's not the thing. That's not why that's he got knocked out. He got knocked out because Carlo Pratis has fucking monstrous hands. He has monstrous power. He's a KO machine. I mean, Leach got spinal surgery, but he was out for 2 years. Was it 2 years? Let me think. Yeah, it was 2 years. He was out for about 2 years. I mean, man, dude, like that's enough time to he he only came back when he was fully 100% ready. He had not taken damage for 2 years. His chin was probably the best it was ever gonna be. I mean, because it's not like the spine, yeah, sure, but like it really also depends like where in the spine it was damaged. Because if it was like if it was like near the neck, then I get it. But I'm pretty sure it was like near like the back, near like his back area. That's not gonna affect how he takes a shot. You think that part of the spine is gonna affect how his brain reacts to fucking smashing against the skull? Because that's what it is. That's what knocks someone out. It's your brain smashing against your skull. I don't think that really ruined Li Jingliang's chin. I mean, Li Jingliang was taking big shots before that. So I don't think that ruined his chin. He was taking big shots before that. Big clean shots that slept Trevin Giles. So, but I do think the time off did affect Li Jingliang because 2 years off and you're coming back against a monster like Prates, that's not an ideal situation. That's not ideal at all. But still, Prates is a monster. He's still a monster, and I think another spectacular performance against Randy Brown that would put him in that S tier. I think I could safely put him in the S tier. But for right now, it's a no can do. You are an A tier fighter, but you have that S tier potential. Same with Baralho. I think Baralho's going to be champion. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he beats the shit out of Imavov, and I think he could beat Dricus. He's destiny maxing. These guys are destiny maxing. These last four guys, these guys, Baralho and then Prates and these two, they're destiny maxing. Let's talk about Rufy. Let's talk about Rufy though. People aren't going to agree with this. They're going to think that I should put Prates, Rufy, and Silva in the S tier, but I'm not. I am not. I think Rufy is B tier. Because here's the thing, he's shown really good skills. Against Jamie Malarkey. Really? Against Jamie Malarkey? I'm not really convinced off of that. I mean, he's shown his sparring and he looks really fluid and his shot selection, his accuracy, he is like a McGregor. He has shown real pinpoint accuracy. and he's shown that he's got really good skills. But here's the thing. I think that he has the opportunity to show himself as an A tier fighter. A or S. I think Charlie Campbell, people are saying Rufy's gonna steam, just like, oh, easy win for Rufy. Another can. Charlie Campbell's really good on the feet. Charlie Campbell has really, he's really skilled on the feet. And I think that, honestly, if Rufy can beat Charlie Campbell the way people think he's gonna beat him, I think I can put him in the S tier. But if he beats him, but he shows some holes, I still think if he can knock out Charlie Campbell just in general, automatically going into the A tier after it. But if he can show some real if he shows levels against Charlie Campbell, I think I'd have to put him in the S tier because that's an impressive. Charlie Campbell's an impressive strike. His boxing is legit. His boxing is crisp. And I know you people are gonna say he got caught by Trevor Peek, but Trevor Peek is like, dude, anyone gets caught. If you ain't getting caught by Trevor Peek, you're not a fighter. You know, Ashmoose, you fucking pussy. But yeah, I think Mauricio Rufy just hasn't shown enough for me to confidently say A tier fighter. Because I mean, Jamie Malarkey just can't do it with that. Just can't do it with that. But Gene Silva, I think he's in the same position as Carlos Prates. Actually, I think he's in the exact same position as Carlos Prates, except a bit different. Firstly and foremost, Gene Silva has really good wins. He beat Weston Wilson, the greatest featherweight of all time. No, I'm playing. We're not going to value that win. Uh, but we will value his Contender Series win against Kevin Vallejos, who since then has gone on a 3-fight win streak and just earned his contract on the Contender Series. And Kevin Vallejos is 14-1. So he's shown that he's legit. So I value his win over Vallejos. He's also beat Charles Jourdain by knockout. He was the first person to knock out Charles Jourdain. That's impressive. And on 2 weeks' notice, he moved up a weight class. Dude, I'm like blanking right now. Sorry, I'm retarded. He moved up a weight class to elevation on 2 weeks' notice against Drew Dober. And he outclassed him on the feet. Drew Dober Drew Dober got muscled around. Drew Dober shot in on a takedown. Gene Silva would throw him off. Drew Dober was getting shucked around. He got rocked twice. Once in the second with a spinning back elbow. And he got dropped in the third with another spinning back elbow that opened up a nasty cut. I mean, Gene Silva and Carlos Prates are in the same boat. They're able to see openings and they're able to find these unique shots that no one else are able to find. So I think I'm pretty comfortable putting him in the A tier. Same boat as Prates. I think if they both get a fantastic performance and win in their next fight, I can confidently put them in the S tier. But right now, I just can't. Same thing with Rufy. And all these guys have the potential to move up. They just got to do more. Just got to do more. It's got to show more than what they've been showing. But I can confidently say, I can look at this list confidently and be like, yeah, I agree with this. But tell me what you would change down below. I don't really give a shit. I'm not changing it anyways. Bye-bye.